was a huge win last night. Crook, you've been talking about needing to show character, needing to show mentality, togetherness, consistency, etc., etc. We weren't at our best last night. The performance from both teams actually was a lackluster game, really, with not much quality in it. But we found that moment of quality. We defended very, very sternly and kept a clean sheet and got out of there with a 1-0.
Yeah, my wife was so bored she went to bed at half-time, but she's a gooner, so we'll let her off for that. But it wasn't great, was it? Flat. I mean, the atmosphere inside that magnificent stadium was a little bit flat, barring the away fans. I thought Everton came, certainly in the first half, to spoil the game, didn't show a lot of attacking intent. Even when they did in the second, they were reliant on set pieces and just sort of bombarding Senna Lomond, who was absolutely terrific, I thought, on those set pieces. And with a couple of shots as well, they were routine saves, but they were the type of saves that Andre Onana, his predecessor, would have pushed straight back out into a congested penalty area.
100%.
The fact he manages to hold on to the ball, it sounds really simple, but it's made such a big difference. I thought he was great. I thought Lenny Yoro coming in, I was a bit worried about that because of Martinez's injury. I thought him and Maguire had a really good game. And the goal to win it was pure class. You know, the pass from Mateus Cunha, the awareness of Brian and Mbumo not to try and go for glory himself, but to tee up Šeško. And that was a finish of a striker high in confidence, and one who's probably going to be knocking on Michael Carrick's door and trying to get a start against Palace at the weekend. But it's a conundrum for Carrick when you've got a player who's doing so well coming off the bench and influencing games. Is it even a risk to start him on Sunday?
Yeah, because he is doing the business from the bench. And we're going to talk about individuals, of course, as the show goes on. But just from a team perspective, you look at the table, you look at what our aspirations are for the rest of the season, of course, making sure we get in Champions League football. That's all we got. Aston Villa dropped points, Chelsea dropped points, Liverpool on our coattails. It was very important to win that game and create some distance and continue the momentum. And now the table's just sort of taking shape in terms of getting a grasp on that top four.
Yeah, definitely. I think that, you know, for United to be back in the top four is great. We've got that 3-point cushion inside the top four, 3 points behind Villa in third. You've had a lot of injuries. They've had poor form. And I just think it's very exciting. I think overall, I know you and I spoke about this, Lex, that, you know, Gary Neville on TV was very critical at half-time. He was making out like it was, you know, a crime against humanity kind of thing. But I think overall, within the context of the whole game, you know, limited Everton's opportunities to score, hit them on the break. You know, I'll take that away performance, to be completely honest. And I think when you do look at the table, I've looked at the race for the Champions League, the schedules that everybody's got. Liverpool seem to have the easiest run. But you've got Aston Villa, they've got to go to, they've got Chelsea at home, Man United away, they've got Tottenham, Liverpool and City are their last two games. You know, we've got Chelsea, we have got Liverpool, we've got Newcastle, we've got Villa at home. Chelsea, Arsenal, Newcastle, Man City, Man United, tough Liverpool, runs. Tottenham. Everton's is probably the easiest of it, but when you look at that, you start to believe that top four, of course it's doable because we're in top four, but when you see that and the way that it's going to play out, I know Aston Villa will be dropping points in those games. I think you can't rule out Chelsea the way that they are Chelsea at the moment. Chelsea are not Liverpool, this hasn't been a great Liverpool team that we've seen this season for whichever reasons, but it fills you with confidence. And I think I said this a few games ago, I'm actually looking at the table. I'm looking at the table, I'm looking at the points, you're trying to calculate it. I mean, I've sat and looked at all that. You know, you're actually thinking, oh, well, what happens about this? Whereas before we were just like, are we in the bottom half of the table? How far away are we from those relegation spots? We're all right? Yeah, we're all right. And so to be invested again, to be more invested in the Premier League, the whole thing is just so much more enjoyable.
Yeah, it is. I'm really enjoying it. Carrick, if you would have told me that before we kicked a ball with Carrick, he was going to get 16 out of 18 points, I would have just shaken your hand immediately. I wouldn't have asked you who scored, by how many, the goal times, the goal scorers, what type of performance it was.
3 at the back or not.
3 at the back. I wouldn't have asked what formation. I would have just shaken your hand and got out of there.
Yeah.
And I've been seeing, like you say, a little bit of negativity because, yes, against West Ham, we wasn't good. The spark wasn't there. For large parts last night, we were incohesive. The attacking players, any one of them could have got taken off when Ahmad came off the pitch. That was probably Bruno Fernandes' worst game of the season, actually, by his high standards. But like you said there, Ange, guys, take a step back. Enjoy it. We won. We won. We're building momentum. Right now, I'll take momentum over performance any day. I'll take results over performance any day. And that is what it's coming down to. That game is a simple game of get in there. It doesn't matter how you win. Just get the win and win. Look at Liverpool in the last, robbed, almost daylight robbery against Forest. Should never have won that game, but they did. Last minute limbs. You just get your points on the board because, like you said about Chelsea, like you said about Villa, like you said, including Liverpool, there's points to be dropped from them. And whoever can show just a little bit of consistency, forget performances. Whoever can put their head above the parapet and put a run together, which we've done, by the way. We're the most informed team in the country right now, which is incredible. We're unbeaten in the last 10 games. But it's starting to now reflect in the league. Remember when we were getting games where people around us would capitalise, would drop points and we would never capitalise. We'd be crooky. That's our chance to go into the top 4. Here's our chance to gain points on Chelsea or to gain points on Liverpool, really stake a claim. And we drop off. Now we've got the consistency and the momentum.
That's the biggest difference. Obviously, Chelsea failing to beat Burnley at home, Aston Villa dropping points at home to Leeds. It was a real opportunity for United. And unlike previously, when the door was left slightly ajar and we didn't seem capable or willing to walk through it, we did walk through it last night. All right, maybe we took the long road to walk through it. But 3 clean sheets as well.
Exactly.
In 6 games. And when you think we couldn't keep a clean sheet for love nor money under the previous fella, I think you've just got to keep giving Michael Carrick all the flowers in the world.
What's his name?
Who's the previous fella?
That guy from Portugal.
Right, okay.
Ronaldo. What?
Crookie just won't let go. Let's talk about individuals. Let's talk about Benjamin Sesko. 6 goals in his last 7 appearances. And even before this game, a lot of Man United fans were saying he needs to start. He saved us against Fulham off the bench. He saved us against West Ham off the bench. It's about time he gets a start. And when you look at the points he's single-handedly given us, he gets us a point against Burnley, gets us 3 points against Fulham. That's 4 points. Gets us 3 points last night. Yeah. That's 7 points, and gets us a point against West Ham. That's 8 points that he's literally put on the board himself in the last few games. Is it time for him to finally start and be unleashed and give him the reins, or has Carrick got a point? When your record is as strong as Carrick's is, which I've played 6 games, mate, I've won 5 and drawn 1, and this guy's chomping at the bit. I've got him locked in. I've got him exactly where I want him to change the dynamic, and he's scoring. Is it just a good recipe to have, a good problem to have?
It's a good headache to have, as to not, oh God, do we have to start this guy because he's no good, which we've had in previous seasons, whereas now this guy is good. Should we start him? Should we have him coming off the bench? So I think this is the difficulty of only playing, once a week or once every 2 weeks of late. Is that you don't have those opportunities to kind of experiment, and these games now are must-wins. So I think if it isn't broke, you don't need to fix it. I understand why people would be thinking that, and it seems to be working now. I'm not too sure with this front 3, who's fitting where. Is it going to have to be a case of we're going to have to eventually maybe pick from Mbeumo or Ahmad, because they both like that right-hand side? Yeah. Not too sure, but it's nice to have the headache of tweaking things.
What would you do next game? If you were Michael Carrick, what would you be doing?
I think I would keep things exactly the same, because I trust that Michael Carrick knows Benjamin Sesko well enough. He said, we've had conversations, and it's about his confidence and the way that he's playing now, the way that he was bombing 70 yards last night to get to that ball. We are seeing a very different Benjamin Sesko. We're seeing him playing with confidence. He doesn't seem as nervous. His touch is so much better. He looks a lot silkier. So if this is working at the moment, and he seems very happy to be like, listen, I'll just do whatever you want me to do.
Yeah, he said it, whether I'm on the pitch for 10 minutes, 90 minutes.
He's still young. This is his first season, and I think if this is working, him coming off the bench, then that's absolutely fine, because he's still scoring goals. It's not like he's bringing him on for 5 minutes at the end. You know what I mean? So,
it was even earlier last night.
So for me, I trust Michael Carrick, and I understand why people will say, let him start. Listen, this guy's going to be at Man United for a long time. There's going to be plenty of chances for him to start. And at the moment, I'm okay with it personally, because we're winning. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
So,
you can do what you want when you win.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Crookie, how do you feel about this? Gary Neville said on his podcast I saw last night, he said Michael Carrick will have to start him against Crystal Palace. It will crush the boys' confidence if you don't. Is there an element of that because I'm just talking about confidence. Is there an element of?
But you're being trusted to come off the bench and change the game and make things happen. So I don't think it necessarily means your confidence dips, in my opinion. It depends how you look at it.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. It depends on the individual. That's what I'm saying. Could it be that actually it does the opposite, Crookie, where it affects his confidence because he's like, what more have I got to do to start? I'm coming off the bench. I'm directly involved in everything. Give me a go from the start. I'm chomping. I'm ready.
Well, you joked about it right at the top. You know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer spent the bulk of his Manchester United career as an impact substitute. Obviously, particularly that treble-winning season behind Andy Cole and Dwight York. The same for Teddy Sheringham. I think part of the art of management is knowing when to rotate and knowing when to manage a squad. I think Šeško will start against Crystal Palace. I'm tending to agree with Gary Neville. I think if you look at Ahmad's last couple of performances, actually wasn't great away at West Ham. And obviously last night as well, I think he really struggled before being taken off. So I think it's an easy decision for Michael Carrick to make, to move Mateus Cunha and Brian Mbeumo out wide and to put Benjamin Šeško through the middle. I'd be surprised if Šeško didn't start on Sunday.